Okay, we are back. This is the one we've all been waiting for. This is our top 10. I am Karla Drake.
I'm Brian Drake. Let's roll.
It's actually pretty difficult to choose your top 10 games because there's so
Yes.
many good games that exist that it's really hard to narrow that down.
Yeah, because I feel bad for making something 11, even though I love Expeditions. But let's be honest, if a game's in your top 100, you'll play it when somebody says, do you want to play this game? That's kind of how it works. There
right.
are thousands of games out there.
Are you ready to dive in?
Let's go! Hey, future Brian here, and I wanted to drop in right now and elaborate on something because I've alluded to it twice in these top 100 videos, but I'm an idiot and forgot to actually add it into my top 10 list. Now, it was on my list before I even made the top 100. It was going to be in my top 10, top 20. So I just want to point this out now because I've alluded to the fact that I would talk about it and I never talked about it. But a game that has made it into my top 10 is Tales of the Arthurian Knights, which means that everything above this video will be bumped back by one. Tales of the Arthurian Knights is an incredible game, great art. The book is amazing. It's just such a fun game. Can't believe that I actually forgot to put it on my list as we were shooting this that day. But Tales of the Arthurian Knights is on my list. It was already on my list when I made this. Just forgot to record it and talk about it. So that is happening in this video right now.
Let's get started. My number 10 is Zolkin.
What?
It's a T game, and even though it sounds like a Z game.
That's true. But it's got a T in it.
T apostrophe, Zolkin.
This tag team's great. The guys who make these.
I thought you meant us. Like the
This tag team, that tag team,
The Ultimate
FTR.
Warriors.
Yes. Right. This is a great game.
It's a great game. There's a pyramid.
Multiple pyramids.
You painted them. They look good.
On
It's
gears.
got a gear that churns. It's very, very hard to feed your hungry people.
They like
Which,
corn and fish.
For some reason, I really enjoy starving people in my games. Like
Yeah.
feeding them, I mean, not like...
Oh, I'd be like, I'll take the penalty. You can just deal with it. Not in this game. There's not enough room to wiggle for that.
It's too harsh for that. But it's probably the best of the T games to me.
I would agree with you on that. Now, I probably would have
Tzolk'in,
put...
the Mayan calendar, technically, is the name.
Yeah, I probably would have put Teotihuacan on my list if I didn't cheat and put those three on my list. But it's such a good game, Zolkin. My number 10, Last Light. Oh my gosh. When you heard about this with Play-Doh and popsicle stick looking prototypes in 2018, 19, whatever it was, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. When I finally got my copy in, Roy's game is phenomenal. It really is a 4X experience in 1 hour. It plays fast. It's so easy to learn too, and you can teach it so easily because all you got to do is teach the action cards and people pick it up and play. I love Last
The
Light.
planets are great. It's a beautiful game. Roy has done a wonderful job, and I've watched him teach so many people this game very quickly. I think I saw him teach like 16 people at a time one time.
And they played it at one
And
time.
they did.
Yeah.
And so it's great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. Let it get
Alright.
away. Sorry, a little YouTube.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. All right, my number 9 is Obsession, and as he calls it, Downton Abbey, the board game. I love this game. I've loved it for years. I finally got my own copy at Dice Tower East this year.
Yes.
So we've been playing that a little more lately. I love Downton Abbey. I love the concept of...
Mr. Caution.
Yes.
No, you're right though. Like they had this at the retreat, or no, at East, and somebody said, "Oh, they got Obsession of it. We've been looking for it for years." And they're like, "They got 62 copies." I said, "No, they have 61 copies." And I literally walked over there and bought it in the middle of the con. So, gosh, it's a good game. So good.
It's so fun, and I would play it right now.
I have a feeling that as we play this one more, it's going to find itself moving higher into my list above some of the games that I mentioned here. Because maybe not the top 10, but it's great. My number 9, Path of Civilization. There's no much in it, but I love this game. Simultaneous actions. The tech is so easy to understand. It's a pain in the butt to put those stickers on those trays the first time, but they hold everything and it shows you the cost and the benefits. I just love this game. It is so good. The whole simultaneous play, it makes the game play very fast. Like we played with 4 people in the same time we played with 2 people.
And I mentioned it whenever I said it earlier, previously, in a lower number.
Whatever the word
You've got
is.
me confused.
Yeah.
I've got myself confused. Anyway, I forgot what I mentioned. Oh, that there's no learning curve.
No.
Somebody can sit down and play this game and do well at it. And
That's true.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, that is so true. I meant to say it during Death May Die, so if you're listening now, that's the same with it too. You can do what you do with another game that we're going to talk about later, where you just say, hey, we'll start playing, you'll learn the game. I love games like that, and you're right, Path to Civilization actually is just like that.
It is. All right, my number 8 is Sagrada. It tops Azul for me, it tops Majolica, it tops any of the others that we've mentioned in that genre. Since when do you agree?
No, Sagrada. I got heat for putting Sagrada over Azul in my.
But you had Azul on yours too.
Oh, I don't have any Azuls on mine.
Okay. Nix that. That didn't happen.
All right, just go
Okay,
ahead.
so my number 8 is Sagrada. It's
Sagrada.
my favorite of these kind of games. I love dice games, but I also love the beautiful windows that you get to build. He mentioned the Legacy game earlier, which I really do enjoy that, but it's missing something to me when you don't see the colorful dice all lined up in your tray at the end.
I agree.
And it's also an app that I really like. So
It is an app. Yeah, I forgot about that. But the whole fact that it is translucent dice, it just looks so good. And if you're familiar with the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, I believe it's in Barcelona. One of my friends did a mission trip there, and he's got a miniature of it. I was like, wait, where did you get the board game? He's like, I went to the place. He's like, oh yeah, it's a real place. That's right. Anyway, gorgeous looking game. Man, it's good. Would you put the base game over the Legacy or not? Because I actually put the base game experience over the Legacy, but not the whole thing. Like, I like the whole thing too.
I love the Legacy version, but I can play this version.
That's true. You even did something with Harper one time where she made her own like rules for a family version of this, where I think she just took out Harper's card and just had her pick.
I'm pretty sure that's in the book.
Oh, well, she made it up. You heard it here first. They stole her idea.
Just to make it easy for kids.
Oh, that is a good choice.
I don't think I came up with that.
My number 8 is a brand new game to us. We played it at the retreat no less than 6 times, and not to spoil the end of the year video, there's a great chance this is going to be my game of the year. This is River Valley Glassworks. Brian, don't you like heavy games? Yeah, wait for the next 7. This game is phenomenal. Like, I kid you not, it kills Azul for me. I love the different glass shapes. I love the fact that you go to the river and pick, you have to put one out and take either from this side or that side. I love the scoring rules and every one of the modules, save one of them. One of them's a little weird to understand.
You can play them all.
You can play them all. Yeah, it's so good.
I wouldn't say it's an Azul killer because they're not the same.
True.
I would say Azul is for a longer experience.
That's true, but I do like this game.
This is a very fast game.
Oh, it's good. River Valley Glassworks, if you don't have it, the art's beautiful, components are great. Just go get it. It's amazing.
All right, my number 7 is Art Nova. Cute animals, action selection, action planning.
Yeah.
What do you call that whenever you're laying the cards out and you can only do it if it's in this position, or it
gets better the further down.
It gets better the further down it is, and when you move it back to the beginning.
Action enhancement?
Maybe. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I love it. It's like a little bit of solitaire happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't mess me up and I can't mess you up.
That's true. There's really not a lot. The only way it may work is if you bump somebody's scoring card, but that's it. I mean, it's so good. So good. You're right. My number 7 is the only game by he designed another one, but it's the only game in this series on my list, even though Rising Sun is great. My number 7 is Ankh. I love this game. I will teach this anytime. I will play this anytime. I like the friendliness of the fighting where your gods don't come off the board. So it's not like you have to start from scratch every time. And sometimes it benefits you to have people die, or because you play the certain cards in the battle too. It's just so good. Deterministic combat. There really are no surprises other than the cards, but you have the same cards as everybody else. So you know what they have. Man, I love this game, and I painted it.
It's kind of a surprise whenever you're in third and the fourth place person gets eliminated, but oh no, they don't. They're on your team now. They did so bad that they get to drag your team down.
That's true. Like, the fourth player person is a benefit. The third player is like hanging a millstone around their neck.
I feel like if you're going to make them get stuck with somebody, it's
give them first
player.
player.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, you two worst players, stick together.
Totally agree. I also got to try out my candy-coated metallic paint on the scarabs, and if you look at them this way, they're green. You turn it this way, they're purple. I love the way this game looks now, but it already looked good, but I enjoyed painting it. So, number 7, Ankh.
All right, my number 6 is a game of experiences. It is Time Stories, and I mean just all of them. I've loved every Time Stories experience, save one. Which one?
Madame.
Yeah, it was okay. Not
Be
the
sure
best.
to drink your Ovaltine. It's exactly what it was like at the end.
All right. I don't remember that.
It was like, we got a super secret message. You decode this, and it was like, look for the next games coming in April. I'm like, are you serious? It's a crummy commercial?
It was a commercial, that's
Yeah.
right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, but the Time Stories, we have a couple that we play with, and it's just so fun. As soon as we get it in, they come over and we play it all the way through in one night. At first, I think they've changed it a little.
They
since
have.
their
Yeah, there's no
original
board
implementation.
anymore.
Yeah, but it's still fun.
Because you have to think for a second. Time Stories came out before the boom in escape rooms in a box, which now is great. You just get that feeling of, oh, we solved it. In the first Time Stories in Asylum, I'm not going to tell you what happens. We thought about, I think this is how this code works. And we were right. And when we got it right, we were like, whoa, that was great. There was nothing like that in gaming yet. Now that we've done escape rooms and escape room games, those have moved over there. But in this, you spend 3 hours playing the game and you're right about something you just have a hunch on.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so fun.
It is. Good choice.
Thank you. It was on your list.
My number 6 is a Grail game for me, and my friend Will, thank you, Will, just told me that this is coming back to Kickstarter. It is amazing.
Can you tell the story of how you played it?
This
You have to tell them.
is City of the Big Shoulders, first of all. I will tell that story. This is a 18xx style game. No, it's not. It's a what do you call it? Indirect action, which means you have your money and your person, but you can buy into a company and start running that company. Or you can sell out of that company and buy into that company, and you get dividends and shares. I love anything with stocks. And this is a worker placement game with a great stocks
It
mechanic.
sounds like you.
I was on the cruise in January, and I was like, I'm going to try it. So I wrote, looking to learn City of the Big Shoulders. And I kid you not.
So at the cruise, we have a chart that you just write things on.
Which if you're coming on the cruise, please do that. I'm facing this way. As I put the cap on the pen, I turn, and there's a dude right here. He goes, I'd love to teach that game, Brian. I was like, what in the world? And he did, and he was awesome. He's a great teacher and a lovely accent. That was fun. So City of the Big Shoulders, I will be kickstarting this because it is number 6 on my favorite games of all time. So, wow. I kind of thought it would be even before I played it, and then I played it, I was like, yep.
It's pretty impressive that you played it once and it's way up there.
It's all up here. I played the game in my mind.
What's that from? You sound like Bang.
I was born. I was born in the dark.
All right, my number 5 is Great Western Trail.
I knew this would be higher. This is such a good
Then
game.
Maracaibo, but barely.
Barely. I mean, it's like 6 numbers.
It's like the Maracaibo was
9.
14.
Yeah.
So, okay, my number 5 is Great Western Trail. It did beat Maracaibo for me, but Great Western Trail is one of my favorite games. In fact, it's in my top 5 clearly. I love the concept of walking, traveling around the board, and collecting my cute little cows. And we did the sheep version too, but I really like the cow version because they're cute. And I've got Jersey cows. I even know what a Jersey cow is now. I didn't know that.
Didn't know what a Guernsey and Jersey were.
Didn't, but
Now
now
I
I
do.
do. And I collect them,
Jeez.
and I get my little set collection of my expensive cows, and get some more coins to shop with.
I like when you get the worker. They're not workers like worker placement. You get the workers to put on your board, and those actions you take get better too.
Yes,
I really like
love
that.
worker placement, and I love the how this all works together.
So good. And you add spaces onto the board. One other game we
I
had.
guess you would call this a deck builder.
Technically is a deck builder.
So there, I got one in.
It reminds me of that Nevada City game. It didn't make my list this time. It did last time, but it's great too. But I love how the board changes and you're putting your actions out there. It's just so daggone good. Good choice.
What's number 5 for you?
My number 5 is one of my favorite videos I ever shot. Is Twilight Struggle. Oh my gosh, I love a certain part of history, and I study it all the time.
This is not a lie.
Is the Cold War. I love the Cold War. And I get heat every time I say this, but the Cold War is, golly, I sound like an old man when I say
Yep.
it. The Cold War is one of the most important periods in human history. Why, Brian? Because we could have nuked each other.
I didn't say it. I didn't say why.
Oh, okay. No, I love this. You're literally playing the Cold War, the board game. You're putting out influence. It's card driven. The history's there. The images on there. I like. Listen, the game is not pretty. But I like that for this. If you took the map of Twilight Struggle and put it on your history teacher's board, it would fit right into a history teacher chart. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I love this game. It's one of my favorite apps to play too. Twilight Struggle, top 5 game for me.
All right. Number 4 for me was mentioned by you, I think, in our last video.
What?
It is another train game. I had to get one in the top 5.
That's right.
It is Railroad Revolution.
So good.
Which is kind of a train game, kind of a worker placement game, but you're still laying tracks.
Yeah.
And I do like the Western Union aspect. I know some people have told me today that that can be controversial.
Allegedly, yeah.
Scoring.
Well, actually, you did the Western Union track. It's broken. It's not broken.
It's not broken.
Settle down.
It's just a way to win.
You should play better. I'm kidding. That was mean of me. For real, play better. I do, though. We've played this in the 30, 40, 50 times probably. We've probably played it 30 times at least. It's that good.
It's a very good game.
So good. And like we talked about, it's the only game I know where different color meeples give you a bonus and the same action. I just love that. It's so good. My number 4, guarantee you, is going to be a crossover, is Scythe. I brought this game home. Had no clue if she would like it because it has the mechs, and at the time you weren't really playing anything with like mechs and stuff like that, fighting even. Scythe is a near perfect game. Like, it really is. It's I'd give it a 9.5, just because it's that good. Like, the resources look great, the mechs look great, the mechanics are awesome. I love the player board, the top board, bottom board, the top actions, bottom actions. It's just amazing. It is obviously it's number 4 for me, but it's one of the best games ever made. Scythe, James Stegmaier.
All right, number 3 for me is Terraforming Mars. So it does, in fact, be Ark Nova.
It does. You're right. Okay.
But I love Terraforming Mars. I will play this with anybody at any time. I don't really need all the expansions. I have some. I've played some, but I don't want the game with a whole bunch of expansions.
Prelude's a must-play, though.
Yeah.
It speeds up your stuff.
I do like that. And I don't need to do the drafting at the beginning. I'll just take what I'm dealt.
And the boards really don't matter. The ones you pick, they don't really matter.
It's just a perfect game.
It really is great. I think I hope I clarified that I forgot to put this in here because I just didn't write it down.
Look, another honorable mention.
So I squeezed it in with the card game, but probably actually would squeeze it in with something like Earth. That's how much I think of the original. Even though I like the card game. Anyway, forget all that. It's a great game. Excellent choice. Now, my number 3 also has the word Twilight in it, and it was on Karla's list. How about that? Way back there.
It was like number 99 or 100.
Yeah. This is Twilight Imperium. 4th edition, 3rd edition, I don't care. It's one of the best games ever made. You are having an experience when you play this area control Euro game with fights and dice. Like, oh my gosh. I've never had a non-monumental experience. In fact, my favorite story is when James flipped the table, yells at his friend because he went out. This is like 2 in the morning.
Okay, I was already in bed and I heard my front door slam.
Gets to his truck, and all of a sudden we hear this sheepish walk back in, and he looks right back at the guy he just yelled at and quit and left from. He goes, "Hey man, can you move your car so I can get out?"
It was amazing.
We write him about that all the time. Yeah, Twilight Imperium, if you can play it, it may be a once-in-a-lifetime for you just because the sheer time it takes. I will say, though, I've never played one longer than 6 hours. I know that's out of the range of normal, but my gosh, this game is good. Play Twilight Imperium. My number 4, or 3.
3. That's 3. All right.
Oh, okay.
What?
I know what you're going to say. This one's good. I was just looking at the last 2 for both of us.
Yeah. All right. So my number 2 has been mentioned quite recently. It is Scythe. Scythe is the perfect game. It is always your turn. You always have something to do. And when it's not your turn, it's very quickly going to be your turn. The fights are easy and great. And it's really, it's not that punishing. Yeah, you might have to lose all your resources, but...
But they're easy to generate.
I say if you're going to start a fight, make sure you're going to win a fight.
Don't start and it won't be nothing, as they say.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
That's right. Because in West Philadelphia...
But the art is beautiful inside. It's probably... I think we ordered a book.
Yeah, we've got the book with the art book. And it's just... That's Jacob Rozalski, I think's his name.
But it's just such a creative concept, and I love the game.
It's amazing. Love it. Like she said, it's higher than Expeditions for both of us. Expeditions is a great game. Besides, it's a perfect game, pretty much. It really is. Good choice. My number 2 is Mansions of Madness Second Edition. Not First Edition, Second Edition. We've probably played this game of heavier games more than any other game in our collection. It's such a fun experience. We've played through every mission in the actual licensed ones that came out through Fantasy
We've
Flight.
played fan missions at this point.
And we've played fan missions on one of those sites, and it is so good. There's puzzles on the app. There are, character-specific horrors and terrors that happen. I love Mansions of Madness. If you haven't gotten to experience this, please go play it. It is my number 2 game of all time. And technically, my number 1, 2, or 3, depending on the day, can move between those spots because they're that great. So, my number 2, Mansions of Madness.
My number 1 is going to sound extremely familiar right now because it is Mansions of Madness.
Absolutely.
We have played this with so many people. I don't really consider it that heavy. I guess
It's not?
All right, it's got an app, and this second edition that we play.
Yeah.
But we've got it all painted. You painted it. But it's just the perfect experience of a board game. If you like H.P. Lovecraft, it's got like all his characters and his world and his monsters, and the fights are fun, but it's not just about fighting. There's puzzles, and you lay out tiles, and the story is different, a little different every time because it is app-driven.
Yeah. You can play the same mission twice and have an almost totally different ending, too, which is great. To that point, though, there are also some missions that have hidden trader mechanics and stuff. Like, you might be somebody from Innsmouth, which is really cool. Also, we talked about it, or we alluded to it, we just want to mention what game it was. This game requires no teach. You do not have to teach anything. You say, we're going to play this. You can move twice on your turn, and then the screen will tell you everything else. So it's such a good game, even for new people who haven't played this style of game. Love Mansions of Madness.
It's fantastic.
My number 1 game of all time, and you know what it is already if you've watched my video in the past, because this game has not changed out of my top 1. It is Western Legends. It's so good. There are tons of characters, even Seth Bullock and Al Swearingen.
I'm surprised you didn't go put on your Tombstone shirt.
Me a Huckleberry.
Okay.
Dying ain't much of a living, boy. I actually just did him from Josie Wales. Josie Wales is a great movie, too. I love Westerns. I love Westerns. Tombstone is one of my favorite movies of all time. Red Dead is my probably top 3 game of all time.
And this is basically the Western, the board game.
Yeah, the Western, the board game. That's it. You can fight. You can be a sheriff. You can be an outlaw. You can go mine for gold and ignore everybody else. You could be the treasure of Sierra Madre. By the way, phenomenal movie.
But you know what my favorite thing is? That you can play the whole game being a bad guy and get arrested. And then you turn around and you're the sheriff.
Turn your life around. Be the sheriff,
You
kids.
get points that way.
It's so much fun. I love this game. I've played it at every player count. You really don't want to play it at 2. 3 is even a little lackluster. If you're going to play with the big map that has the sideboard over there in the mountains, play with a higher player count, because if you get stuck over there, you have a harder time getting marshal points over there. I like just running cattle, too. Like running cattle, running gold. It's just great.
It's a good sandbox.
Western Legends, my number 1 game out of my top 100.
And there you have it, our very first top 100 together. You've done it before, I have not.
That's right. It's a duo top 100. And what? 50% maybe crossover, but there's a lot of stuff that you have that I don't.
I would say that our top 10 and 20 had more crossover than the rest of the list.
Yeah, but that tells you we
play together.
We both like the same kind of games, give or take my top 2 and 3, or 3 and 4.
Give or take
whatever.
his affinity towards
Cold War.
18XX games and
Yeah.
stop games, which are kind of going hand in hand with that.
They do. So, thanks for watching.
You didn't put HeroClix on here.
I did. HeroClix is an honorable mention because it got me into gaming. But it's not really,
Even those honorable mentions.
I will honorably mention anybody. You, sir, honorably mentioned. Ma'am, honorably mentioned. It's great. Hey, let us know what you think of our list. And
why we're wrong.
Why we're right. Oh, wrong. Yeah. No, we had fun doing this.
Just kidding.
We'll see you on the cruise.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassel.